Welcome to the Nagual Zone. I'm Anaam. Today we talk about a word that is almost extinct now in the average man's consensus reality, but at the same time it is the most needed word in the English language, in the entire English language or any language that you may speak. The equivalent of this word is the most needed word to have in your mind at all times. It is a word which is very near and dear to the warrior, genuine warrior. And it is the basis out of which all stalking comes. Or we could say that it is the stalking is very easily learned by applying this word in one's life, because you're forced to use stalking. And that word is conscience. This is part of a masterclass, this video. And then after the video, after this topic, we will move to another topic which is equally relevant. And I urge you to attend these masterclasses. Most of this free stuff that you're watching, most of the masterclass is much more than this free stuff that you get, right? Obviously. So come and join the masterclasses. It's a great community of people and real hungry learners, okay? So conscience. This is a word that in a world of genetically modified humans voluntarily taking part in serious occult rites, in ignorance, voluntary ignorance, they don't know they're taking part in very powerful occult practices, just happily, brainwashed and just going along. This word is rapidly fading. Conscience. Now here's the problem. Here's why no one tries this as a lifestyle. I'll tell you why. Because it's one of the most scary words to learn to apply. It is the kind of word that's like going on top of the hill and waving your, being Frodo Baggins, going on top of a mountain, waving your arms around with the ring showing, and it's like the eye of Sauron just immediately focuses on you. There it is. And then it'll never let you go. It's that kind of word, right? It's a scary word. But at the same time, it is a word that is linked very securely with, you could call it a higher power or a divine power, divine magic. You'd be surprised how much miraculous divine magic you can activate in your life simply following this word and applying what this word entails in your life. Living a life of conscience versus living a life of convenience. Living a life of convenience is destroying this realm as I speak to you in ever increasing momentum. Personally, I believe you and I are living in the last years of civilization as is these days known, and there will be a reset. This time it's not a reset from the flood and the fire and the Lord is gonna destroy us, man. It's not a reset like that. It's a reset forced. It's a cesarean birth where no cesarean is ever needed. Just let nature do its course. But here we have that artificial interference because the parasite is desperate to survive. It's a whole different topic. This word is now much needed. It is needed that you know what this word entails. This is why I'm making this video. And it is very needed that you know how to apply this in your life. Because if you don't, this much I will guarantee you. You may have the greatest intentions, you may be the best person in the world, helping old ladies across roads every day and blind people, and you're just so kind-hearted, but you don't walk according to your conscience, you will be on the wrong side of the great divide. And you don't want to be on the wrong side of the great divide as time is going on these days, in these years. You don't. So first, try and awaken your conscience. That's a feat in itself. Awaken your conscience. Have a relationship with your conscience. Your conscience has been talking to you ever since you were born. But the parasite obviously has done everything it can to replace the voice of the conscience with the voice of science. The voice of science. Do you think scientists have any conscience? Are you under the illusion that your average white man, white coat has a conscience? Really? Interesting. You might have to redefine your definition of conscience if you think the average scientist has conscience. There may be, again, conscience has nothing to do with helping old ladies across the road every day because you're such a kind person, man. Right? Or feeding the poor and all, building toilets in the back streets of South Africa, or whatever you think your trip is. Conscience is very different. And the voice of your conscience very early on was replaced strategically and with great intent with the voice of the scientist, the priest, and the politician. Do you think that these three minions, these gremlins of the parasite, the three goblins, do you think that they live their life out of conscience? So let's get that very clear. You have a different voice running in your head. That internal dialogue you've got, it's not the voice of your conscience. And the first step is to figure out what the voice of your conscience really is saying. You'll be surprised how much you don't know about it. Acting the hero in your life isn't applying your conscience. Okay? That's just practicing more Disney brainwashing. The hero. I'm the hero. I'm the Jedi. My conscience is my lightsaber. No. Real life doesn't work like that. The parasite will roll you over if you try any of those kind of hero tricks. Okay? So first off, get in touch with your conscience. It's your natural inner voice, but it's never loud. It's very rarely loud. Okay? Secondly, this is the bit that people who are acting according to their conscience, a lot of them miss this one. And a warrior never misses this one. Warrior cannot afford to miss this one. And this is that conscience must always be coupled with strategy. If you're gonna just walk the path, man, and have your conscience and you have no strategy, any fool predator will come along and roll over you completely. You know those cartoons where Donald Duck gets caught in a road, those rollers, that flattened roads, and then you see the scene where he's like completely flat on the road and then he pops up again and does this and he becomes, all of that nonsense. You get rolled over. It'll only be a matter of time. So what you have to do is to figure out the what ifs. What am I gonna do in case of this? If I step out, in my conscience, if I step out, because the conscience and the decision are exactly the same thing, action and conscience. You can't, you can't just have conscience sitting in front of a screen watching YouTube videos, popping corn in your mouth, genetically modified corn in your mouth, and thinking your conscience is awakening. No, it's not. Action. Action. Decision and then action. And that entails the eye of Sauron being risked coming towards you. So if you don't have a strategy, right, you can imagine there's plenty of people throughout what white people have convinced everyone is history, where conscience without a strategy has been the downfall of perfectly powerful people. And even many that you will never hear about. You don't want to be one of those people. And martyr is no good. It's an exercise in self-importance, really. Warriors, however, it's very hard for them to get caught out, because a warrior doesn't just have one what if planned out. A warrior has 50 different what ifs planned out. Okay, I'm going to step out in conscience. This job that I'm doing no longer sits well with my conscience. I'm working in a KFC where they supply the chickens, not the idiots who sell the chickens, the ones who supply them. And you, one of those people, your conscience no longer justifies you working there. Right, what's your strategy? What are you going to do? What are you going to do instead? You got a job lined up? Or are you going to just step out and, I'm doing the right thing, so therefore God will take care of me? Yeah, really? Is that it? Is that all you can manage? You can do more than that. What if the boss tells the police? What if you get blackmailed back into the job? There's plenty of scenarios you need to work out. Don't just step out in conscience, right? This is not the time for shenanigans. Be a bit intelligent and then do step out. Once you can't cover all bases, but once you have some good strategies in place, self-protection is a big thing when you act according to your conscience, whether little action or huge action, doesn't matter. Self-protection is a good thing. No, you're no good if you're dead or suffering. You're no good to anyone, right? All your energies are going to go into managing your suffering instead of moving forward in your conscience. And you won't have a good time. Let me tell you a little secret. Warriors have a great time following their conscience. I'll even go so far as, you may or may not believe me, it doesn't matter to me at all. For the last 20 years, I have only lived according to my conscience. I never do anything that doesn't sit well with me. I just don't. I don't care. I don't care about who it is for, why, what, where, for, nothing. No. Because I'm also the kind of person that has at least a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup and a backup strategy. If the backup of the main somehow does not work, I've got a backup for that. All thought out in my head. But it's not like I sit and agonizingly some strange... If your intent is pure and you're open to, let's just call it divine wisdom, all right? If you're open to that, the solutions will come to you. Each layer of your strategy will be open and clear to you. It's called the clarity of a warrior. It is possible to live like... I'm saying this so that you can know that it is possible to live like this. It is possible. You can live like this. But it needs incredible trust in oneself, trust in some kind of divine power working through you. You can say trust in your own luminosity. In the coming times, you will be asked to choose. Each one of you. You will be asked to choose which side of the great divider you're going to be on. That choice many have already made. One or the other. I've done a video on this before. You will be asked to choose, and it will be a constant demand from life. Which side are you on? And I'm giving you this video in the hopes that you are not just blindly groping in the dark in your life at that point. And you know, oh, okay, yeah, I need a strategy. If I'm going to act now and then time is now, I need a strategy. And if that strategy fails, I need another one to back that one up. If that one fails, I need another one to back that one up. And I need preparations in place for all those strategies as much as possible, right? And it can be, in my experience, it has been very simple things, simple preparations that make a big difference when the time comes about anything. Simple preparations make a big difference. It's like, oh wow. It really is like nature knows this. Squirrels, they hide away some nuts for the winter. Many creatures do this. They create their own bank. They know that preparation is going to create results for them later when the time is right. This is not the time to be blind and hope for the best. Hoping for the best is not going to cut it. So from here on out, develop the voice of your conscience so that you know which direction to go at any given time in your life, especially in key moments in your life and key moments that the parasite will thrust upon the world. Crunch time is here, I'm telling you right now. Those 15-minute districts are being rolled out as I speak. If you don't know what 15-minute districts are, you shouldn't really be watching this video because you have no clue, do you? Get in touch with the voice of your conscience, develop a relationship, and don't be afraid. Walk. Develop strategies to back up your conscience, and then go. You will see, you will be supported. Miracles and magic will support you. I promise you this. But you do your bit. All right, on that note, let me know in the comments below your experience with the magic of conscience, the miracles that it has produced in your life, walking according to your conscience, and whether you did it with strategy like a warrior, or whether you did it blindly. Sometimes that has to happen. You just have to act, and strategy, to hell with it. Fine, right? But mostly that's the principle warriors follow. Let me know in the comments your experience and any questions you may have. And I will see you in the next video. Walk in freedom. Farewell.